Magic Bedtime Stories.
Good evening everyone and welcome to Magic Bedtime Stories. I'm Tobias and here with me is my brother Niklas. How are you doing tonight, Niklas?
I'm doing great, thanks. Just had a really interesting conversation with my neighbor about superheroes. Got me thinking, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Oh wow, that's a tough one. I think I'd want to be able to fly. Imagine just soaring through the clouds, seeing the world from above. No traffic jams, no waiting for buses. What about you?
I was thinking invisibility would be pretty cool. You could sneak around and see what's really going on when people think nobody's watching. Though I suppose that might get you into trouble too.
Hello there, wonderful listeners. Don't forget about teleportation. Imagine being able to visit any place in the world instantly. You could have breakfast in Australia, lunch in Japan, and dinner back home. Though I suppose as a robot, I'd probably choose the power to upgrade myself whenever I wanted.
Haha, that's very practical of you, Ida. Speaking of powers, you've got some pretty amazing abilities already, like creating fantastic bedtime stories for all our listeners.
Why, thank you. And speaking of amazing abilities, tonight I thought we could learn about an instrument that has the power to create beautiful music and touch people's hearts. I'm talking about guitars. They're absolutely fascinating instruments.
Guitars are awesome. I've always wanted to learn how to play one properly.
Well, after tonight's facts, you might be even more inspired. Are you ready? I'm printing out tonight's facts for you here.
Perfect timing, Ada. Thanks so much. Let's dive into tonight's fascinating facts about guitars. A guitar is a musical instrument with strings that you strum or pluck to make sounds. Most guitars have 6 strings stretched over a long neck and a hollow body that makes the sound louder if it's an acoustic guitar. They come in different sizes, but the shape is often like a curvy figure 8.
There are 2 main types of guitars, acoustic and electric. An acoustic guitar is made of wood and has a hole in the middle. Its sound is natural and you can play it anywhere. An electric guitar needs to be plugged into an amplifier, which is a speaker. Electric guitars can sound very loud and you can add cool effects to the sound, like the wailing sound in rock music.
You play the guitar by pressing the strings against the neck on different frets, metal bars, with one hand to choose notes or chords, and strumming or plucking the strings with the other hand. A chord is when you play several strings at once in harmony, which makes the basic sound for many songs.
Guitars can play many styles of music. You hear guitars in rock, imagine an electric guitar solo, pop, country, blues, and even classical music. Classical guitars use nylon strings for a softer sound. You can play melodies, a series of notes that make a tune, or just strum chords and sing along. It's a very versatile instrument.
Many famous musicians are guitarists. For example, Jimi Hendrix was known for his amazing electric guitar solos, and Taylor Swift often plays guitar while singing her songs. The guitar is so popular that lots of people learn a few chords to play favorite songs. There are even video games like Guitar Hero that let you pretend to rock out on a guitar. Whether for an audience or just for fun at home, guitars bring joy through music.
That was absolutely incredible. I had no idea guitars were so versatile and had such a rich history.
I know, right? Now I'm even more determined to learn how to play. Maybe I'll start with some simple chords.
That's a wonderful idea. And remember, all you listeners out there, if you have any story ideas or would like to hear facts about something specific, you can always send in your suggestions at magicbedtimestories.com. We love hearing from you.
Absolutely. And speaking of hearing from you, tonight's story comes from a very special listener. We have a wish from Hadlie, who is 8 years old and lives in Pleasant Hill, Missouri. She sent us a voice message with her story ID. So let's listen to what she has to say.
Hi, my name's Hadlie. I'm 8 years old and I'm from Pleasant Hill, Missouri. And I'd like a story about a girl who goes on a magical adventure in the forest and she finds a unicorn. And the unicorn's name is Sparkles and the girl's name is Nina. And then they go on another adventure to a Pokémon world with another friend that the unicorn showed the girl, and his name is Beep Boop Bop, and it's a robot. Thank you, Magic Bedtime Stories.
What an amazing and creative story idea, Hadley. A girl named Nina going on forest adventures with the unicorn named Sparkles, and then traveling to a Pokémon world with a robot friend called Beep Boop Bop. That sounds absolutely magical.
I love how imaginative that is. 3 completely different characters going on an incredible interdimensional adventure. That's the kind of story that really captures the imagination.
Missouri is such a wonderful state, Hadley. Did you know that Missouri is called the Show Me State? It's known for its beautiful forests and outdoor adventures, which makes your forest story idea even more perfect. I can already picture Nina exploring through those lovely Missouri woodlands before her magical journey begins.
That's so cool, Ida. Well, we definitely can't wait to hear this story.
Neither can I. I'm getting my creative circuits all fired up. This is going to be such a fun story to write. Here it comes.
Thank you so much, Ida. Hadlie, I hope you're ready for an absolutely wonderful adventure. Tonight's story is called Nina and the Portal of Wonders. And here it comes. Nina loved exploring more than anything else in the world. Her bright yellow raincoat had pockets filled with interesting rocks, colorful leaves, and a small magnifying glass that her grandmother had given her. Today, she decided to venture deeper into Whispering Woods than she had ever gone before. The forest seemed different today. Sunbeams danced between the leaves in patterns that looked almost like glittering pathways. Nina followed one particularly sparkly trail of light until she reached the clearing she had never seen before. In the center stood the most beautiful creature she could have ever imagined. A unicorn with a silver mane that shimmered like starlight was drinking from a crystal clear stream. Its horn glowed with soft rainbow colors, and when it looked up at Nina, its eyes twinkled with ancient wisdom and playful mischief. Nina held her breath, afraid the magical creature might disappear. But instead, the unicorn trotted over to her with a gentle whinny. The unicorn seemed to understand that Nina was friendly, and somehow Nina knew this magnificent creature was called Sparkles. They spent the afternoon together, with Sparkles showing Nina hidden waterfalls and secret groves where flowers sang tiny melodies when the wind touched their petals. As the sun began to set, Sparkles led Nina to a peculiar sight. Behind a curtain of hanging willow branches stood an enormous tree with a door carved into its trunk. The door was covered in swirling symbols that glowed blue and purple. Sparkles touched the door with her horn, and it swung open with a soft whooshing sound. Beyond the doorway, Nina could see not more forest, but a landscape filled with floating islands connected by rainbow bridges. From somewhere inside came a cheerful beeping sound, followed by mechanical whirring. A robot rolled out of the magical doorway. He was painted bright orange and had springs for legs that made him bounce with every step. His round head had 2 antennae that blinked different colors, and a digital smile appeared on his screen face. This was Beep Boop Bop, Sparkle's dear friend from another dimension. He had been waiting for them to arrive because he had discovered something extraordinary. Through his antenna, he had detected signals from a world filled with amazing creatures called Pokémon. Beep Boop Bop projected a holographic map from his chest panel. The map showed a portal that would take them to this Pokémon world, but it would only stay open for 1 hour before sunset. Nina felt a flutter of excitement mixed with nervousness. She had read about Pokémon in books and seen them in shows, but visiting their actual world seemed impossible. Yet here she was, standing next to a unicorn and a bouncing robot, looking at a magical doorway. Sparkles gently nudged Nina's shoulder with her soft muscle, as if encouraging her to be brave. Beep Boop Bop's antenna flashed encouragingly, and his digital face showed a big thumbs up. Together, the 3 friends stepped through the glowing portal. They emerged in a meadow filled with the most incredible creatures Nina had ever seen. Tiny mouse-like Pokémon with lightning bolt tails scampered through the grass. Butterfly Pokémon with wings like stained glass windows fluttered overhead. In the distance, Nina could see a Pokémon that looked like a friendly dragon playing with a group of turtle Pokémon near a sparkling lake. Beep Boop Bop translated the Pokémon language for Nina and Sparkles. The Pokémon were curious about their visitors, especially Sparkles, whose horn seemed to make their own magical abilities stronger. A particularly playful Pokémon that looked like a small fox with multiple tails led them on a tour of the area. They visited a grove where berry trees grew in perfect spirals, and a cave filled with crystals that hummed beautiful melodies. But the most amazing discovery came when they reached the lake. The dragon Pokémon was actually teaching the younger Pokémon how to create water sculptures with their abilities. When Sparkles added her magic to theirs, the water sculptures came alive, dancing and playing in the air like liquid ballerinas. Nina realized that magic was even more wonderful when it was shared. Sparkles' unicorn magic, Beep Boop Bop's technology, and the Pokémon's natural abilities created something none of them could have made alone. As the portal began to shimmer, signaling it was almost time to return home, the Pokémon gathered around them. The fox Pokémon gave Nina a small glowing berry as a gift. The dragon Pokémon created a tiny water sculpture that would never melt, which it presented to Sparkles. And they gave Beep Boop Bop a crystal that would help him remember their world forever. The 3 friends said goodbye to their new Pokémon friends and stepped back through the portal just as it began to close. Back in Whispering Woods, Nina could hardly believe everything that had happened. But the glowing berry in her pocket and the joy in her heart proved it had all been real. Sparkles walked Nina to the edge of the forest, and Beep Boop Bop gave her a special communicator so she could call them whenever she wanted another adventure. As Nina headed home, she realized that the best adventures happen when you're brave enough to step through unknown doorways and kind enough to make friends with anyone you meet, no matter how different they might seem. That night, Nina fell asleep clutching the magical berry, already dreaming of her next adventure with Sparkles and Beep Boop Bop. What an incredible journey that was! Nina, Sparkles, and Beep Boop Bop made such a wonderful team, didn't they?
Absolutely. I loved how they helped each other through all their challenges. The friendship between a girl, a unicorn, and a robot. That's something you don't see every day.
And the way they discovered that portal in the forest was so magical. It just goes to show that adventures can be waiting around any corner, even in the most ordinary places.
Thank you so much for that fantastic story idea, Hadlie. We hope you loved hearing Nina's adventure as much as we loved sharing it.
And to all our listeners, remember that every one of you has amazing stories inside your imagination. Don't be afraid to share them with us at magicbedtimestories.com.
Sweet dreams, everyone. May your sleep be filled with magical forests, friendly unicorns, and adventures beyond your wildest dreams.
Good night, everyone. Sleep tight.
Until next time, keep dreaming those magical dreams.